Thank you for choosing to be with us and choosing acceptance.
We have plans for you.
Big plans.
I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie.
Okay, that's okay.
Don't be nervous.
You will stop being nervous very quickly when you see what's going to happen. Now I want to show you something that will put you at ease.
Okay, I'm ready. A little wind up bunnies.
They're bunnies. I'd like to introduce you to Eleapsa and Petrabbit. On each of their little backs are little bunny backpacks containing, oh look, question scrolls. Oh, before we get started, we have a very light question for you that she didn't warn you about. So just tell us 3 things about Elisa that people might not know.
Yeah, that most people don't know.
Well, I am a terrible dancer, but I love to dance anyway.
I know the feeling.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love sugary candy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And I play the ukulele.
Hey!
No way! Thank you for sharing those. I do have a question. If you had to pick a candy, what would it be?
Airheads.
Airheads.
We are curious about the connection between play and one's ability to accept different ideas, different cultures, different people. And so our running hypothesis is that if you can play, you can practice acceptance.
Yeah.
So all the questions are the ones we've already given you to think about. And these are the same questions that are being carried by Eleapsa and Petrabbit. They have 2 of them randomly stuffed into their bunny backpacks. The rest of them are in this attractive blue Japanese dish. Now, it's a race. Okay? In this race, it is Petrabbit against Eleapsa every time. We will wind them up exactly the same number of times, which is 3 full winds. You are going to pick which one you believe will win.
Oh.
Whichever one wins is the question you will be asked.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, whether you picked it or not.
Okay.
But if you pick and your rabbit wins, I have to suck on a lemon.
Sounds good. What do I do if I lose?
Nothing. We don't want you to suffer. It's just about me. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So we will wind. Hold the feet. 1,
2, 3.
Turn it around. Hold the feet still so they don't move.
Oh, Jesus, it wants to move.
Elisa, is it Petrabbit or Eleapsa?
I love the beard of Petrabbit, but I have to go for the green team of Eleapsa.
1, 2, 3, go. Petrabbit 1, that's the question, and I don't have to eat a lemon.
Okay, do you play? If yes, how? If no, why not?
Yeah, I totally play. I'm curious how you all define it. Because I don't know, have you guys read, I have it here. Have you guys read this book? Play by Stuart Brown?
No, it's on my list actually.
So I'm going to use Stuart's definition, but then I'd love to know how you all are defining it, or if it's similar or different. Play is less of an activity under this premise, but a state of mind where you engage in something fun and voluntary that sort of takes you out of your day-to-day life, and you're immersed in it, and there's not one right way or wrong way to do it, but it's about that state of mind that takes you out, and then when you return, you come back different or changed in some way. Is that sort of what you all are?
It really is. It's very close. Any immersive activity that allows one's passions to be expressed in a joyful, carefree, unself-conscious, and energizing manner.
For me, it's a lot of music. It's a lot of being out in nature and just like observing the world. And it's writing and art, whether I'm consuming it or creating it. Those are probably the ways they show up the most in my life. So essential to our lives as humans.
Yes.
To engage in that kind of behavior. And it's so unique to each of us. Like what looks like play to one person might look like terror to another person.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel fortunate personally that I get to play at my job all the time as a children's librarian.
I don't think there's a wrong way to play. Would you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. I don't think that I couldn't look at what someone else is doing and really determine what's going on for them internally. I like your mug! It's almost like you planned that.
It really didn't. A nerd is always ready. A nerd is prepared.
A nerd is always ready.
Yeah, really. Are we ready for another race?
Sure, let's go.
Okay, we're going to put another random question. This time we're going to
into
Petrabbits. There we go.
Petrabbit.
Okay. There's the course.
Can you see it okay now?
Yeah, it's right there.
All right.
Okay, 3 wines.
Right.
1,
2, 3.
Okay, who are we betting on?
Green.
Green.
All right.
Ready, set, go.
Petrabbit is like a racehorse.
Petrabbit fell over.
No, but he hit the computer before.
He hit the computer first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I cannot see the finish line. I can only hear your commentary.
If you were trapped on a tropical island with a limitless supply of water and your favorite food, but were only allowed one belonging and it had to be a toy, what toy would you choose?
I don't have it to show, but I'm a huge fan of Gumby.
Yes.
Gumby was my nickname growing
Gumby.
up. I love Gumby.
I watched Gumby so much.
I think like a classic, flexible Gumby would be what I would take with me. I have something Gumby related in every room of my house, just because I grew up with it. And
That counts.
Pokey.
Look,
Yes.
Pokey.
not a Gumby, but it's
It
a
counts.
focus.
It's his buddy.
Wait, let's ask her if she's betting on before we do the
So
hardest.
who are you betting on?
Who are you betting on?
I mean, at this point, I have to go for the underdog and go for green again.
I love this. I love this. Yes. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3. All right, hold on.
Ready?
Yeah.
Set, go. You see, Petrabbit gets there first, but Eleapsa never gives up.
All right, so she's going to eat a lemon, what, in honor of underdogs?
In honor of Eleapsa.
All right, in honor of Eleapsa. I can't wait to see what face she makes. I got it. Makes me fucker. All right.
Oh, man.
All right. Think about the last time you played, in whatever capacity or definition you choose. What did you get out of it? How did playing affect you?
A couple days ago, we had a lot of snow in Chicago, and I had spray chalk. So it's like getting to be a street artist without the legal consequences of, breaking the law. It was really fun to just go into the backyard, have a totally blank canvas, and experiment with not just, the design you want to make, but how, if you spray and then you kick the snow, it mixes together. And everybody in the neighborhood was out. The kids across the street took the chalk, and then they were decorating their fort that they were digging. And I think that to answer the question about how did it affect me, I think it's really about that connection with other people.
I also like this notion of connection, though, because connection also allows for acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
In fact, it's the doorway.
Often it is
Yeah.
the doorway to acceptance.
Yeah.
So you accomplished a lot with some spray chalk.
You
So
absolutely did.
kudos to you.
Yeah.
That just makes me happy. I'm just happy.
All right,
hold on.
I'm going to go blue this time.
You are going to
Okay.
go Petrabbit? Okay.
1, 2,
2,
3. Down we go.
Hold on. You ready?
Ready, set, go. And he's okay.
Stop Petrabbit.
While you get that, I'm going to eat the lemon.
Yeah. She has to eat the lemon because I forget why. Why do you feel it?
I don't know. I have
Tucker?
so much vitamin C in me right now.
True.
Wow. All right. Do you think there is a connection between being able to play and being able to accept other people, ideas, or beliefs?
Yes. And I think that the key there is being able to play, because I think that in order to go into that mindset or that space, you have to be willing to take risks and show a little bit of humility. That sort of mindset is the same sort of mindset that goes into good relationship building. If you're just doing the activity and you don't have the mindset, you're just doing parallel play where there isn't the connection, so you aren't reaping those benefits.
Is risk-taking and the freedom to make mistakes an integral part of play? Do you think?
I think so.
Is it an integral part also of acceptance?
Absolutely. It goes to what you were saying earlier, Christina, about how play doesn't have, you have that dance like nobody's watching sort of standpoint where you might start with a certain rigid rule book, but it's not limited to that. I think that that practice of acceptance is risk-taking, or play is risk-taking. It comes from the same innate place that humans have, that it's like a catalyst for trying to understand the world and each other.
Well, we have one question left, and it is your beloved Eleapsa. So Eleapsa,
Does she get
Persevere.
to go by herself?
Eleapsa is just going to be right here. She is ultimately the one who hung in there. She has the very last question.
I'm ready for it.
Do you have to agree with or understand the people with whom you engage in play? And we are defining play as any immersive activity that frees you from constraints of daily life.
So I think no, but I do think that there needs to be a respect and an understanding of each person's full humanity before that play begins or that connection begins. Because if there isn't that recognition of somebody being able to be their whole true self in that space, I think that it's not a safe space where vulnerability can exist and all of the things we talked about before can really blossom.
Now, how do you create this safe space? Because there's been some, there's different points of view on how to do that.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's up to the person or the people engaging to kind of share what they need, No experience is monolithic, and I think that different people will, because of the day of the week and who they are and the lens they see the world in, they'll be able to advocate for what they want. Or if they're, so young, I think that's where child development experts come in, and sometimes unsafe spaces are called safe or called accepting when they're not.
Yep.
And I think diversity of thought is sometimes used, or like we can agree to disagree is sometimes used to reinforce an imbalance of power, where not every child or every person playing can really be there and be present because they're carrying all these other stresses and defenses that they have to get by. I think that play can be a shared experience that can serve as the beginning of a bond wherein people that might be, less in agreement than others can start to come together and see where the other person is coming from.
But I want to bring up that you are a part of Reading While White at an event recently where you were talking about how to create safe spaces when many of us thought they were already safe. So if you can kind of mix that in too.
Because of us humans and how white people traditionally have used race to benefit other white people at the direct expense of folks of color and Native people, it has very real implications in the world as one walks through it. We can't go on the logic that all of us experience the world in an even-handed, similar way. And to do so only ignores, for me as a white woman, if I wanted to walk through the world that way, it would ignore all the ways that I benefit from my own whiteness. With play, I hesitate to make a parallel here, but I do think that play is another one of those experiences where kids innately do it. Biologically, we play. And just like children grow up in America learning racism, children grow up in America learning that play is something to be ashamed of, play is something to feel guilty about. To discover play again as an adult requires more reversing of learned behavior, because there's been so many ways that kids have learned implicitly and they've internalized these messages, but they haven't really been given space or understanding in a lot of places in America and a lot of schools in America to sort of push against it.
Are there things we can be doing as parents, as just adults around kids, educators, etc., to keep kids connected to play and other things so that we don't have to reprogram them or unprogram them later?
Yeah, I think play requires, I think it has to be modeled by adults. I think that it has to be talked about openly. And I think that there needs to be freedom to talk about what each player needs. Making a mistake, through play is a great way to practice making a mistake, in the bigger world. Play is one of the many ways that we can foster relationships and create the habit of humility. The habit can be nurtured and fostered early. And I think that, its play isn't going to solve the world's problems, but it can open hearts and it can open minds and it can be one step on the path towards that awareness.
It reinforces the fact that play is a lot deeper, has a lot more tendrils in our lives, and in many ways is a lot more serious than we give it a lot of credit for. And I want to thank you for sharing some incredible insights.
Well, thank you.
I'm just blown away with where we got to, starting with bees.
Yeah.
You're very generous with us.
Very
we really
generous.
appreciate it.
And
Well, I appreciate the openness and the invitation to play along. And
have a good weekend and a good week, Elisa. Thank you.
Bye.